as I was walking around the garden this afternoon, I noticed that the Akebia Quinata fruits are now ripening up. The plant is originally native to China, Japan and Korea, so the Far East, and you have to have a couple of plants for it to be able to cross-pollinate. The Akebia Quinata is called that because of the 5 leaves that it has on the plant, and you then need a couple of varieties for them to be able to produce the fruit. The fruit starts off green and then eventually sort of turns to this sort of purple color before eventually splitting open, like you can see on the back there. They're a pretty tough plant. They are drought tolerant. They will take temperatures way down into minus 20 degrees C. Here they are in a temperate zone. They are sort of partially evergreen. They don't lose all their leaves, but in some cold areas it can lose its leaves, and being fully dormant will take those temperatures all the way down there. They add a kind of an exotic appeal to the garden. They're kind of quite an unusual fruit. In Japan they're cultivated widely, and normally about the time sort of September into October, the fruits will begin to appear in Japanese markets, and it's kind of sort of to Japan's kind of way of showing that autumn has arrived, and a bit like sort of how we use apples in the northern hemisphere, sort of around in the UK. The chocolate vine soon sort of starts appearing on the market. So when we're considering sort of planting these things, there is a couple of things to be mindful of. The vine in many parts of the world is classed as invasive, and so it can cause real problems if you plant it in a location that you don't really want it taking over in. Where I've got this planted here is right next to my greenhouse, and it is only planted down here, and up through here is all I allow it to do. If you're going to plant this thing, it's not a plant that you're just going to put in and forget about it. You're going to need to kind of keep on top of it because it can soon start to take over. But saying that, as an invasive species, it comes in the same category as wisteria and many other climbing vines, which are also classed as invasive. So when you're considering to kind of plant them in, those are just some of the things you just have to be kind of aware of. But the flowers have a really nice scent to them. Anything with the name chocolate in it is going to automatically think people want to buy it and kind of put it in the garden. But it does have a vanilla-y sort of scent to the flowers, and they are quite a nice looking flower to have around. So what I wanted to do is to show you the fruit. So this is the fruit, and they'll split open like this when they're ready. So if we take one off the plant here, okay, so this is the fruit, and you can see sort of in it has the split down there, and in the center you get this sort of pulp, this white gelatinous pulp, which kind of is the edible part of the fruit. Everything on it is actually edible. The new shoots you can use in salads. Leaves they use as a tea substitute. This outside rind or the skin of this, you can actually, in Japan they'll stuff with meat and vegetables inside and deep fry it. It has a slight bitterness to it, but they seem to like it. But so we'll just try the fruit and see what that is actually like. So just got a spoon here so we can take it up. It has these sort of black seeds in it. You can eat the seeds, but Japanese people will spit them out. But flavor-wise, it's sweet. Has almost like a slightly sort of coconutty milk kind of flavor, I guess. Not particularly a strong flavor, but yeah, coconut and milk. Sometimes people will put like a squirt of lime on it because it sort of cuts through the sugariness and the sweetness of it, and it has a nice sort of texture to it. But yeah, it'd be great in things like smoothies and drinks out of it. I think it would work really well. So that's the Akebia Quinata, or the chocolate vine. Something maybe to consider growing. Be sort of aware that potentially it is an invasive species in certain areas where you live. But yeah, it's a great looking plant. It has leaves on it all year round, and the fruits are edible and make great smoothies, and actually quite nice to eat. Anyway, hope you're all well. I'll speak to you all soon. Take care.
you.